Welcome to my Friday archive, where I tune you into a little bit of where I'm coming from. This is hopefully kind of like a family. That's my hue and cry. Humanity needs to be a family, so hey, start with us. So I'm so appreciative for the people who have been reading and watching the things that I've been sending around. And I thought today what I would do is read you a speech that I delivered somewhere along the line. I've done that from time to time. I've done talks. And, this one isn't really a speech. This is my New Year's message for 2010. It was an email. It's kind of like a speech. Um, you know, I used to be an actress. That was my first life. Well, my first life was actually being a wife. And I snuck out to be an actress. I couldn't really get too serious about it because I was supposed to be a good housewife before women's lib. And but I made a lot of commercials. You can do them in a day or two, so it didn't take me away from my duties at home. Uh, but at some point, I got heavily into the human potential movement. That was after I was not married anymore, and I actually. I thought I was going to get married again a few years after I wasn't married anymore to someone I met at Esalen. And he was a real new agey guy. I was a real new agey gal. We were together for about a year. And when we broke up, I thought, my goodness, if two people like us can't make it in this world, oh, I got to do something more than making soap commercials. I got to help the world. so, so I stopped. I stopped all the things I was doing and for myself, and turned around and looked for what I could do for the world. Well, it's actually funny that I've been saying the same thing forever. Well, not quite the same thing. I started out. It was about my own learning. What was this world of self-reflection? I was the era when, psychology started, and we became introspective, and we dealt with consciousness. We weren't doing that when I was a little kid and when I was a young housewife. We weren't doing that. Once we started doing that, I got deeply involved in it all. And then when this romance didn't work, I turned from learning about myself, helping myself, to actually trying to help the world. What could I do? How could I serve? And there's where the voice, it's really almost funny how I'm saying the same thing I've been saying for a long time. So I'm going to read you my New Year's message from 2010, saying the same thing. Okay, here it is. That we are creatures that propel ourselves and sustain ourselves is the most amazing thing we could conceive. Do we understand how this came to be or why it should be? No chance. Our source always will be veiled. We are comprised of stardust from the Big Bang, which is continuing to bang out, racing away from the source point in an ever-expanding, ever-evolving universe. It likely is teeming with life as a standard development in the evolutionary process. So why, pray tell, in the face of this beyond the beyond miraculous reality, would it make sense to shut ourselves off from the idea there could be creatures out there who are more advanced than we are? I had just made a crop circle documentary, and it sure looked like there were creatures more advanced than we are. Okay, back to my talk. What is propelling this phantasmagoria of a universe that is large beyond imagining, and perhaps even larger than that, where there may be other phantasmagorias beyond this one? Do think about it. We need to do that. Instead of fighting for change, argue for thinking. We have to open our minds. This is basic stuff. We are so complex and so lost in our enmeshment in flesh and form, but we need to forget how smart we are and become simple, where we smell the roses and look how to prevent them from becoming incinerated in the idiotic nuclear games we are playing. I don't have delusions about being a unique know-it-all. However, I've spent a lot of my life trying to pull this chain as I agonize over things like war and poverty. We need to wake up. We need to pay attention to feathering our nest instead of smashing it. All hands on deck. Recreate the earth. Get everyone a place to live. Be a family. Don't leave anyone out. Remove the reasons to fly planes into buildings. I like what Thich Nhat Hanh said. It is possible that the next Buddha will not take the form of an individual. The next Buddha may take the form of a community practicing understanding and loving kindness, a community practicing mindful living. This may be the most important thing we can do for the survival of the earth. Well, call me naive, but I see some power figure getting on TV calling everyone to this place. Like Franklin Roosevelt sat us by the fire with him. We need to gather, make Earth the playing field, call a meeting, start from scratch, beginner's mind. How to Run a World 101. Until we hold a thought for where we can go, we can't get there. So hold the thought with me, stick around. We're on this train, hopefully together. I so appreciate that is so. To whatever extent that is so, I'm really grateful. I have such a desire that we do this right and we care about each other. It's so basic. So, stick around. Over and out.